You know, back in the Bible times, I mean, way before there was YouTube and way before there was television and way before there were movies, well, they had to entertain themselves. And you know how they entertained themselves? Mainly with food. I mean, big parties, big festivals, lots of events, social events where they got together and would eat. Now you say, why did people fast in that day? I mean, why were the Jews fasting? Why did the disciples fast? Fasting wasn't earning brownie points with God. Fasting, that is abstaining from foods, was about taking time away. It was about devoting your thoughts to God for a time, whether it was a day or a couple of days, whatever it might be. The whole point was they felt like they were losing focus and they wanted to refocus. They weren't trying to get more prayers answered in a positive way. They weren't trying to get a better status in heaven or get God to like them again. We know that that happens through the cross and the resurrection, not through anything related to foods. So, where does that put us with regard to fasting today? Well, we're hard-pressed to find any passage in the New Testament epistles about us needing to fast. In fact, if you work your way from Romans to Revelation, you're lucky to find one verse about fasting, and even then there's controversy about was it in the original manuscripts and all that. The point is this: there was a tradition of fasting. Jews were engaged in fasting. The disciples did some fasting in the book of Acts. But let's remember that whether we take time away from something to focus on God and take time away to just talk to Dad in prayer, that's great and that's good and that's healthy. But let's not call that earning a status or keeping a status with God. And let's certainly not look at that as something that has to take place as some sort of sacrifice. You know, when we mandate, when we legislate fasting for other Christians, we're telling them they need to do what we do and they need to have the convictions we have about food. And well, that's just not what the kingdom is about. The kingdom is not about eating and drinking. It's not about what goes into you. It's about who lives in you. And there's freedom there. There's freedom to choose, and there's freedom to focus, and there's freedom to live from whatever Christ is inspiring us to do. And that's ultimately what the Christian life is about. So, you know, we get a lot of questions about fasting. People want to know what to do about it. Here's what I would say after a quick study of the word fast in the New Testament. You want to know the number one use of the word fast in the New Testament? Here it is. It says, hold fast. Hold fast to Jesus Christ. That, my friends, is the main thing we should do with the word fast. Hold fast to Jesus. Jesus plus nothing. He gives us our status. He gives us our rightness. He gives us our newness. And there's no food or drink on the planet that can change that.